Hello and welcome to the Nerd Bug Snacks podcast. The hot new title, Bug Snacks. All about it all the time. Uh, so what do you guys think about Bug Snacks? We got two guys here, two buddies of mine. I know this is my podcast personally, but we got Kyle over here,
Hey, how's it going?
and we got Tomas.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
So how do you guys feel about Bug Snacks?
It's probably, they always say game of the year. Well, this is game of all time. This is it.
Of course.
This is
That's why we made
the goat.
That's why I made a. Is that what that means? Oh my goodness, I feel so old.
Yeah.
I never knew what that meant. I was always like, I don't know what that means. But obviously, this is not about Bug Snacks. But we talk about a lot of stuff here, and we got a lot of things to talk about today. But before we do that, what?
Why is it the goat? Can someone explain that to me? Like,
It just means greatest of all time.
Yeah, so it's like best game ever, best
oh,
whatever
I see.
ever. Yeah.
It's a play
Yeah.
on words. Okay.
But yeah,
Like, I
often
knew what
Michael Jordan is referred to as the goat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that before, the term goat, but I've never like had somebody break it down so
Yeah.
easily.
It's used in a weird way. People say the goat, and
Mm.
I guess it means the greatest of all time. But yeah, sometimes they just say goat, and it's weird. I'm not a big fan of it, but it works for Bug Snacks.
Of
Clearly.
course, yeah. I mean, that's the only reason the next gen exists. I mean, the important next gen as a PS5. But either way, well, if anybody wants to reach out to us and yell at us about how much they love Bug Snacks, where can they find us, Kyle?
You can email us at nerdbackstory@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at nerd_BS, and we'll have everything there. Or you could go to Alan's Twitter. What's your Twitter, Alan?
Scad Matrix. Yeah, at Scad Matrix. You can find me over there.
Yep, and we're on YouTube, so hit us up. Let us know what you
Definitely.
think.
Yeah, please do, and yeah. So we got a couple things, these weekly stories. So we're moving on to our number one topics, which is the most important section. And I guess I'll start off here. We were going to record this a couple days ago, and it was going to be our initial, like, if we were excited to see this movie, but then we got a little late, and now I've already seen it. Black Widow came out today, so I don't know how or are to see it. I know you're both going to see it. So what are you guys thinking so far on wanting to see this film?
As you can tell, we're over the top.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, not a huge Scarlett Johansson fan, huh?
No, I am. I think the hype has died down for me. I'm excited to see it, but it's just been so long. It's like I'm kind of just over it. So I don't want to get my hopes up either about it. Maybe it's just mediocre at this point. So I'm hoping it's going to be good.
Well, and what you said is actually pretty accurate for my opinion of it, because I was actually overhyped, but the hype didn't die down for me because I've been really excited to see this, following the shows and everything.
Right.
I was actually pretty ecstatic, and also seeing it in theaters, which is a whole other experience that I would like to discuss later. But
that's a good point. I'm more excited just to go to the theater than see the movie.
That's valid. And it was exciting. Like I said, I had some problems with that, but that aspect is not what I'm going to discuss. What I thought it was, if I was going to rate it, probably like it was good. It wasn't like amazing. It was just right. It was just good. It seemed a bit long, and there's some weird stuff in there that I didn't like, but I was actually discussing it with my wife when we were coming home. I'm not going to spoil anything here, don't worry. But we basically were talking back and forth about should have this been a show or should it have been shorter? So should have added more and made it broke it up into sections, or should they have done just cut a bit more and made it a bit more compressed? Because I felt there was a bit moments that kind of felt like it didn't need as much time as they gave it, essentially.
Did it? Let me ask you this: did it like ruin the pacing of the movie?
Yes, it kind of did, because it would get like really exciting and you would actually be really invested, and then there'd be like I feel like a too long of a span
Like
before
a
the
filler
next.
episode in the middle of it?
Yes, exactly.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
it was interesting, and then we've already talked about this before, but the purple haired character, I can't remember her name right now. Uh,
I didn't know there was
Elaine is
purple.
what I like to call her. Elaine is what I like
Oh,
to call her.
Elaine
From
Bennis, yeah.
yeah, Elaine Bennis. She's
Precisely.
she was in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and there was a whole thing going on like, oh, she's going to be in this movie.
That,
Uh,
yeah.
and
Go
while
ahead.
she was, it was like it didn't really like cement her into anything. I'll just
Hmm.
say this right now, not to spoil anything, but she isn't really in the movie. She's like in the after
Wow.
credit. There's an after
Okay.
credit scene. Check it out. So stay till after the credits. But she's not in the movie itself. She's only at that part. So I
Yeah.
didn't really like cement her. I don't know what that was supposed to do to make you excited for her in
Well,
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
well,
Uh,
wasn't this filmed before Falcon and Winter Soldier?
yes, it was exactly.
So yeah.
So that's what I was saying. It was like this character was supposed to be like seen before Falcon and Winter Soldier, but you didn't
Hmm.
really see much of anything in her to really like go
Well,
crazy about her in the next one.
yeah, they did that with Nick Fury, if you remember. But at least
That's
Nick
what
Fury is a bigger character, like a more well-known character.
Hmm.
yes, and that's what she's starting to feel like is a the new Nick Fury character.
But
And I
she
did
Hmm.
quotes
seems
with my hands.
she seems like sinister, at least in the show. Because
Yeah.
I haven't seen Black
Yeah.
Widow, but or she has like a I don't know.
No,
It, it,
she's definitely a uh well, I would call them kind of like a practicalist. Like they don't they don't really have a moral compass. Everything to them is just got to balance out. You know what I mean? Like I feel like she's gonna develop, I don't know, the opposite of the Avengers. You know?
oh
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing, because I don't think, I mean, I know Nick Fury is like portrayed as they kind of portray him as more of the good guy, but I've never really felt like he kind of has some good aspects to him, but at the end of the day he is kind of like a government lackey with
Hmm.
Shield, you know. And I think this lady is probably just
true.
on the more of a lackey standpoint
Yeah.
and more willing to follow the rules, whereas Nick Fury kind of was willing to go a little above and beyond to be more on the quote unquote good side, if that makes
Right,
sense.
I agree with you, but I think, gosh, we need to learn her name. But Elaine, I feel like is more. She has something on the side for herself, where Nick Fury was more leaning towards justice, breaking the
Yeah.
rules to get justice. Is what it. That's just what it seems like. We'll find out
Yeah.
at some
Yeah,
point.
and I would like to do a more in-depth, maybe spoilerly talk with you guys later about this when you see it. But I think that's a good place to leave it off, and we can go to the next topic. Unless you guys have
Hmm.
anything else you'd like to say about your excitement for it, because I know you haven't seen it. So
All right.
Tomas was so excited he left the
yeah,
chat.
he
He
left it.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just had to get up and walk away. You know. I wanted it to come out on Disney Plus. I was really disappointed. I can
it
understand
is.
why they did it.
It's on.
But
It's
yeah,
on. It's on a. It's not. It's on a Disney Plus.
well, not normal though,
Oh
right?
Oh
yeah,
no, they won't do that. They gotta get
Yeah,
the
you
good
gotta
yeah,
money.
they gotta make some money off it. The
yeah, yeah.
movies,
No.
yeah.
So like I said, I understand why they do all that, and I want to go see it in theaters because yeah,
Yeah.
If you're gonna
Uh,
pay for it,
and so
yeah.
and that's where my rating comes from, because I think it's a good movie. And if you're really into the MCU, yeah, go see it in theaters. But does it require a theater? Is it like, does it need that theater experience? No, I don't think it
Hmm.
does. Like, I really don't think it was necessary to see in theaters unless you're a big MCU person. Like, I know
Yeah.
us three are. So we'll definitely see it in theaters. So, but you could probably wait if you don't really care about the MCU that much. But yeah, like I said, good. But anyways, we got some more MCU stuff. I know me and Tomas are kind of behind on this one, but I think Kyle's all caught up on Loki.
yeah.
So how you feeling about that, bud?
Well, what episode did you guys get to? Are you just see the first one?
I think I've only watched the first. I have them all recorded, and me and my family, we've been kind of busy, but I think for this, we're going to watch a couple of them. I don't know if we'll get all of them done, but I think we only finished one. I think two. I think we finished two of them. I think we've got past episode two.
Right.
Well,
Oh, okay.
I still haven't gotten any of them done because I sat down to watch
Really?
them and I realized they were each an hour long, and I was like, oh.
So only the first one's an hour long. The second one I think was close to an hour, and then the third one I think is closer to 45 minutes. I think they get a little
They
So
are
shorter.
they're
they
doing
are
less.
they're full 40 minutes though, on average. There's
Yeah,
no commercial breaks or any of
Uh-huh.
that. So
true.
it is a full sit through. But yeah, I was wondering if you guys were doing that on purpose just to watch them straight through. But
I
Mm,
I have kind of hit the point where I'm kind of doing it on purpose now. After I missed the first three, I was just kind of like, well, maybe I should just wait now.
mm-hmm.
No, personally, not me. I don't. I actually don't like that I'm so far behind. I'm a huge because it's just it's me, my wife, and my son, and so we all got to make sure we
Mm,
have a time together where we want to watch something instead of do our own little things or whatever.
Right.
Or work, that
mm,
stuff. But we just haven't got that time together because I'm not really happy that we're so far behind, and now I'm going to have to watch a couple episodes. And instead of getting like an hour together to watch something at the same
yeah,
time, now we're going to have to try to get 4 hours together,
yeah,
which is not, easier said than done. Uh,
Right. And I respect that too, that you guys do that as a family. I do.
yeah.
So I won't give any spoilers either because it is very fresh and there's one more episode I believe left, and this one has really got me itching because they've done a good job with me at least of like what is going on in this show as compared to Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was like, okay, I just want to see what happens. That one was fun, but it
Mhm.
wasn't really like a big mystery. And then, as was with Wanda, there was a little bit of mystery, but it was a little wacky, right? And I know you guys have, at least Tomas, wait, I don't know, one of you said it was a little too wacky. It doesn't matter. But this one, I think they've started hitting their stride with the TV show.
Oh,
Right? Does that make sense? Like
yeah.
the
mhm.
pacing's great. The cast is phenomenal. Like all the new characters they've brought in, all the new cast members work really well together, and I'm really buying into it. As where, in contrast to the other ones, where it's like, okay, this, the Wanda one is like, this is the first one. Maybe they recorded
Right.
it first. It feels a little new. Uh, and of course, Loki is by far the most popular character out of the shows so far, right?
Mhm.
Mm,
I
yeah,
think I think I heard somewhere that the Loki show is the most watched thing on Disney Plus.
I believe it. I know that everyone adores Loki. Like everyone likes him as an actor, and also he's a very popular person within the social media. So it he has two things going for him. So yeah, I
Yeah,
could definitely
yeah,
see that.
yeah, and so I've enjoyed every minute of it. Um, there has been a little bit of slow pacing, but that's part of the show, right? Alan, you were talking about that with Black Widow, but in the show, you're
yeah.
kind of like, this is good, and I think they've really made me invested into Loki as a
Hmm.
character.
You know, like I appreciate all you're saying and just kind of tying the two together. I was thinking about it more while you were talking about that, and those are valid statements about the Loki. I mean, the Loki show I haven't watched, and the Marvel shows because the Marvel shows are such good quality. They're definitely like on the par with a movie, and I think that's part of the maybe that's part of the reason Black Widow kind of felt like it could have been a better show, is for the simple fact that you saying that kind of stuff and bring up the other things and the tie-ins and everything, and the quality is about the same. So now the movie kind of just feels like a made-for-TV movie in a way, if that makes sense,
Mm, mm,
because now it's on
Hmm.
the same level, but yet it's a smaller experience, but it feels like it could have been broken up.
Yeah.
So
right.
So
it's like, yeah,
here's my thing about the Widow, and I mean I'll have to of course kind of judge this for myself when I see it, but my thing was when I was seeing the previews and stuff, I was like, well, we have like four characters here that we've never even met before, and you're putting them in a movie? Like,
Oh, that
I
that
almost feel like
honestly
if
won't
it
be an issue for you, I
that's
don't
not
think
it,
personally.
okay. Because
No,
I was like,
because those characters are kind of minor more than major. It's nothing
okay,
like another Black. It's not like another Black Widow or a Hawkeye or it's nobody
okay,
huge. It's like these smaller characters that work well in this atmosphere. So
okay,
that's not an issue in the movie. There's no characters that are just not explained enough, in my
yeah,
opinion. They
yeah,
feel they
okay,
had their plenty of time. Nobody. It's not like too many cooks in the kitchen. Right?
all
It's
right,
Hmm.
that's
it's
good.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Personally,
to go off your point from earlier, I don't know if shooting themselves in the foot is the right way to say it, but because their shows have been so good so far, it's like, do they need to keep making movies, or do they put all their eggs in the miniseries basket? Because those have been, I think I'd rather watch that. I've been enjoying the weekly like excitement of it, and like I said, like I cannot wait to see how Loki ends in this next coming week. And the movie's one and done, right? It's more like a bite size,
Mhm.
and no
Well,
pun intended there, but
here's my thing about having a movie and a show is I definitely kind of see where you're coming from, Kyle, because I think about long movie franchises, and I can think of one really clearly off the top of my head, which would be Bond, and
mm,
they stuck to making movies. They didn't try to branch out into TV shows and stuff. Um, the thing though that
maybe they
so I kind of
should.
see yeah, so I kind of see your point, Kyle, but at the same time I'm kind of like, yeah, but could you have told Infinity War, and could you have told uh oh man, what was the other one called? Uh
Endgame.
Endgame.
Endgame. Could you have told both of those in a show? Like, I feel like
I,
a movie
I
is so much better for those.
while cinematically, I feel that it is nice to see a gathering like that on screen.
Hmm.
But I actually, if it was personally my opinion, I think show would actually be a better place for that type of stuff for the simple fact that you have more time. And you're not constrained to a 2 hour time slot.
Yeah, I I would agree with Alan on that, and I would also say, looking back, you could say whatever you want. I'm just saying, looking forward, do they? Like, it's one thing to go back and like, oh yeah, you could have stretched this out, but like Alan just said, man, this Black Widow movie. Now that I've seen the shows, now going forward is kind of my point of thinking like, well, it could have been done even in like a 3-part show, made it
Yeah,
like
Hmm.
3 hours long or whatever, and just been a shorter miniseries, and that
Yeah,
would
but
have even
that
been better.
yeah, but that doesn't have box office prices.
No,
no,
That's
of
what
course
yeah,
not.
I understand that, but
yeah,
there's
so
they could start locking those behind a paywall
mm,
on the app, and you know we could get into the business side of it.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
wondering if like I wonder I wonder if they
Mm,
should,
So
because they have this whole plan and phase and all that, but
yeah,
you sh-
and that,
you sh-
so I guess that's where we're all at, right? Is we're all just kind of like, are the shows going to start making the movies less important? I
mm.
guess is
Hmm,
where we're at.
yeah, that's a good way to
Also,
question it.
though, I had a question for you, Kyle, because you've seen the most of it, and I hope this won't make you say any spoilers, and if it does, you don't have to necessarily answer. But
Okay.
it is Loki's magic different than Wanda's, or is it the same? Is it the same idea? Like, I really
Hmm.
want Loki's magic to be his own. Like,
That's a good question, and I would just say this show might even muddle it up more.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't answer you off the
Uh,
top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's even more complicated than we think.
Yeah,
okay.
but I think Scarlet Witch's and Loki's powers are they're all I think they both have questionable powers in the sense where they can kind of
Uh-huh.
do what they need to do depending on the story. So it's really hard
Hmm.
to compare
Uh,
them because they're both like wizards or like a they're both like mages really more than just have powers. It's not like they have a
True.
power.
So,
They're
yeah.
more like they have multiple powers. So
Well,
it's
and
hard
they
to compare
can,
those two characters is what I'm
and
that's
if
all
you,
I'll say.
yeah, no, I think, yeah, but I think he's just wondering if it's like derived, if they're learning the same spells and stuff. Is that kind
Yeah,
of like your question? Yeah.
like my
I
thing
don't,
is it like, what I loved about Doctor Strange is all the magic seems completely different than what we normally see with like the bands and how they make the bands and stuff, like a whip and stuff like that. I just thought, and the
yeah,
thing making the enchantments kind of circle their hands and stuff, I thought was
yeah.
really cool.
Well, if we remember in the Scarlet Witch show, she ends up learning stuff, right?
Hmm.
So again, I couldn't even answer that about Loki.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
um, and so maybe we'll find out a little bit more because it's kind of they do talk about it in the show. So
Okay.
yeah, maybe we could do a
Sounds
spoiler cast about
yeah.
all of it.
That could be
Sounds like we
cool.
need a spoiler class for Loki as well, but we need to get capped up first. But I think
Yeah.
we've burned these topics
Yeah.
for this week. Let's move on to video games. We got a big announcement. We've been talking about the Switch Pro. I mean, I kept saying how I wanted a Switch Pro. Switch Pro will fix all the woes of the Switch. Well, we got our Switch OLED. It's kind of like a Pro. I mean, what do you guys have you guys
Kind
looked at
of.
this at all? The Switch
Oh
OLED?
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm getting one for sure. Well, and because here's the thing, and I'm sure you've seen all the talk online about it, but they're comparing it to the Vita, right?
Oh
And I
yeah.
have both versions of the Vita.
Yeah,
The Vita
I've heard.
started with the OLED,
Yeah, that's
right?
what I've been hearing a lot. Is a lot of people are complaining that people were excited about this when the Vita basically frontiered the OLED portable gaming system.
Right. It's
Uh,
fantastic. But that's the thing. We could talk about that, but like, if we want to compare the consoles, but for me, I love that Vita is the superior Vita in my opinion. Now the buttons they used, the actual buttons are kind of meh. So it's a weird. I wish they had like mashed them together or just done that screen throughout. But I love that
mhm.
screen, and so I'm excited that the Switch is getting it because
Yeah,
it's a solid thing. It's a solid piece of hardware.
yeah.
Uh,
The hardware itself is not an issue. For me, I think it's a small price upgrade, and I think for
Yeah,
what they're doing, it's completely fine. They're adding a LAN port on the dock,
yeah.
which
That's
you can buy the dock separately, which will be nice for those who
yeah.
need that LAN port and don't want to upgrade. And then you
or
get the
buy the
seven.
adapter. You don't want to
Yeah.
have to buy the
Oh,
adapter. Yeah,
you don't have to buy the adapter anymore. They got that 7-inch screen, so it's technically half an inch bigger, I think, because they kind of removed the bezel. I think is what it's called, the border around the screen, or at least they've
Hmm.
pulled it back a
yeah.
bit, which puts that dot on the top. There's like a port which senses it's a sunlight sensor to determine
Oh,
the screen brightness, which is normally on a switch hidden in the bezel, but because the bezel's gone, now it's on the top. And also
oh,
they've like upgraded the speakers. And I don't know if you
yeah.
guys have had issues with the speakers. I've never
No,
noticed a problem with them, but the adjustable stand, I'm glad. The stand looks but much more sturdy. I just ran
yeah,
through all the bonuses. Oh yeah, and also double the storage is another thing. So
yes, yes. So the storage thing and the LAN, the dedicated Ethernet port, those things are, behind. I think like that should have been in the original models.
Hmm.
Because I love Nintendo. I give Nintendo a lot of praise, but that one's just it's so late in the game. The other features, great. I love it. Like that makes
mhm.
perfect sense. And again, I'm going to get this one because yeah, it's better. But yeah, I still run into problems with storage and all that. And
Oh yeah, I do too. I bought like a 164 thing or 128 maybe uh chip and put it in mine, and I still have storage issues.
yeah, same here. Yeah. But
So
so what about you though, Tomas? You own a Switch Lite. Does this
Hmm.
interest you at all?
Oh, honestly, I still I don't know. I would be worried about traveling with something this nice. Like I'd be so scared that it would get broken or the screen would
What's
get
fun?
cracked
Okay,
or
Huh.
I don't mean to cut you off, but you travel with your laptop, and your laptop is
yeah.
worth way more than a Switch console.
Yeah, but
So what makes it different?
I've dropped that laptop on pavement and it
Do you
survived.
so you think this is more fragile than
It
that?
looks fragile to me.
Huh.
Yeah.
I guess I
It
don't think
might
it
not be.
is,
It
Yeah,
might
but
I've my 12. Well, he's almost 14 now, but he got his Switch like when he was 12 years old, and he's beat that thing to hell. And
right, but it
it's a
doesn't have
Nintendo product.
the OLED though.
yeah,
That's
it's
what
not this
he's just
Does
really
saying
not
that.
have the
fancy screen.
OLED. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Doesn't have
I've
the
heard it,
OLED.
but by the way, I've heard it pronounced both ways, and
OLED.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm pretty sure my way is correct. So
Either
no,
way, it's
I'm
fine.
just kidding. I'm playing around.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so either way, I honestly, when I'm playing my Switch, I don't feel like I need an upgrade because
Yeah, you
you
don't,
know,
and that's the thing is you
Yeah,
really don't, because
you
unless
don't.
you want the bigger screen at this point, there's no hardware advantages to this Switch, which is why I know personally I won't be upgrading for that reason. No hardware advantages. I don't need one, and I just got a PS5, so I need to not
Yeah, yeah.
anything else right now. But
That's a good point.
that's why I wouldn't even bother because there's no hardware advantages like graphically or anything like that. So basically, all my games work fine, and I also play. I would call it 90-95% of the time docked anyways. So
mhm.
the bigger screen is not doing much for me.
Tomas, you're as far as Nintendo goes, you've just been kind of handheld mode with them for like a decade, right?
Yeah, for the most part, I think the last Nintendo console that I owned was the 64.
Huh. But that's the thing about Nintendo is that even though you're not really interested in the consoles, they still get you. They still
Oh
got the
yeah.
handheld market locked down for
Yeah,
sure.
and I was even I like when the Switch first came out, I was like, man, I really don't even play my 2DS much anymore. Am I really gonna get the Switch? And then I was like, no, I'm not gonna get the Switch. And then they came out with the Switch Lite, and I was just like, well, all right, I'll get that.
They
You
knew.
know,
They did it for you. They did it just for you.
Yeah,
They released all
it,
the colors just so you could pick
yeah.
one and
yeah,
have yours. I
yeah.
don't. Okay, no, I'll say this. I go to GameStop often, like multiple times a week, right? Because I have a lot of downtime when I'm working and I commute to work, and so
Mhm.
sometimes I have like 2 hours of just nothing to do. So, anyways, all that to say, whenever I'm almost every time I go in there, there's usually somebody picking up a Switch. You know,
Mhm.
and people obviously looking for the PS5, of course, all that, but they actually have Switches in stock, and so people almost every time I go in are getting a Switch Lite or something.
Yeah.
So it's still going strong. I was
Yep.
going to
Yeah.
say
Switch
this
continues
about
to sell.
I'm going to say this about the new one though, and I mentioned it in our Discord. I think this one, and I hope it kind of is because I said I'm going to get one. I don't think this one's going to sell as well because like both of
No.
you, 1 out of 3 of us is the only one that's kind of excited. I hope a lot of people don't get it. I hope it doesn't sell out either because I kind of just want to pick one
Yeah.
up. I don't want to have to go through the whole, the
Yeah.
whole rigmarole thing. If it
Yeah,
does
that
do
would be
that, I
annoying.
probably won't get one. To be honest, if it sells
Yeah.
out and people are getting weird about it, I probably won't get one. But I do want this model.
I
Mhm.
feel like because it's a Nintendo product, it will sell out at first, but I feel like Nintendo is going to put out enough to appease the demand, even though the beginning demand is going to be scalpers trying to sell them, trying to get that
Mm.
Nintendo gold,
Oh man!
uh, which is going to happen, I think, no
But
matter what. I mean, yeah,
yeah, I think that's a good point. I didn't think about that, but we saw people try to do that with the Animal Crossing one,
Mhm.
and
and
it did
I
succeed for a bit though, but then
for a
until
bit,
they
yes,
came back,
but
yeah,
I saw them yesterday on
yeah, oh
shelves,
yeah,
so it's
that's
like
that's what
I
I'm,
hope that's what
yeah,
happens. It's
that's
just
what I'm
like
thinking is going to happen, yeah,
yeah. Plus, I'm
which is
not going to
awesome.
pay full price. I need to get a gift card or something for Christmas. So if
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
out there, yeah, that the extra
yeah.
$50 is a little much.
The white is very clean. I'm going to end on that for sure. That white is beautiful looking. Like it like I almost want to get it just to match my PS5. You know, they just like match
That's a
together.
good. Yeah, that would look pretty nice sitting next to each other.
Yeah, it looks clean, and I like it. I didn't like the white at first for the PS5, but when I got it in my hands and I got it all set up, it's a showpiece now. It looks beautiful.
Yeah,
But anyways,
you got the
uh,
Cheeto dust on there too when you
yeah,
open it up.
of course, yeah, I write my name on it, everything.
Oh, that hurt my soul a little bit.
But anyways, well, let's move on to tabletop games. And we don't. It's nothing big, but I did notice this week, or we noticed this week that couple iterations, and I think we've all seen these Monopoly iterations, and there's not as many, but there are quite a few of the Game of Life as well. There was a time where I used to buy a couple Monopoly games, and then after a while I stopped because I just started getting tired of Monopoly. And also I have like 4 or 5 Monopoly board games now, and I have to decide if I need to get rid of them, some of them soon, because they're all the same game at the end of the day.
You guys gave me one for Christmas.
Yeah, we did.
Give me a Star Wars one.
But we got an Animal Crossing Monopoly and a Super Mario Game of Life. So I'm just like, they used to, for me, these iterations, like, oh, I'm going to get the Star Wars Monopoly, like playing a Monopoly with a Star Wars theme or skin really makes it anything but just Monopoly. What do you guys think about these?
So the Game of Life one sounds fun. They're starting to go into other games besides Monopoly for once, which sounds pretty cool. I would love to see the characters. And for me, this ties in with the tabletop games. I like customizing hero clicks, right? The little miniature figures. And so sometimes I'll look at those games and see what figures come with it. What can I find it on sale so I could just grab the figures and use those? And so that's kind of what I look at now. But I honestly don't think that these skins, I like how you put it, the new skins, because there's, you buy a Monopoly whatever you want, Monopoly Cheeto edition. Yeah, just keeping that Cheeto theme going. But no, I'm a little tired of it. I think Monopoly is a fine game. I think I picked up Overwatch one for like $5 once, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I ended up selling it back. So it's not. It's too much for me.
Yeah, I'm probably with you that. What about you, Tomas? What do you think about these? I don't know if you play these games that much.
Well, first of all, Monopoly is the devil's game, so I try to stay away from that. No, I honestly get way too into Monopoly, man. I get violent.
Oh, it gets you. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't play that game for many reasons, but for one,
I definitely have to be in the right. I definitely have to be in the right mood for Monopoly. I totally in the same way, because it's definitely one of those games that if you start losing, you can spiral really quick.
Yeah,
and
then you just walk away,
and then you're just in this like endless cycle of like, okay, you're just waiting for that person to win, going to win, but you're not going to catch up. Yeah,
you just walk away at that point.
So you might as well just leave. Yeah, I've already lost. But anyways,
but I mean, I can see why they're doing it. Skins are fun, but yeah, I'm kind of like Kyle. I'm just kind of like, man, how many Monopolies? The Life thing, I guess, is interesting. I don't remember the last time I played Life, so I used to play Sorry a lot. That was mine, man. I loved Sorry. That one needs new skins.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why Monopoly is the one.
Monopoly is the big one. I know we actually have a Pirates of the Caribbean Game of Life, which is the only. I haven't seen too many skins of it.
Do you travel on a boat in it?
Yeah, you have like a little boat.
Okay.
It's kind of cool. But yeah, I haven't really seen a whole lot of iterations. I know I've seen other ones, but and if you click on those, you can see the pieces are really well made. I will say they look really nice. Exactly. They better be.
That is one thing I will say about Monopoly. It's true that no matter I feel like what Monopoly you have, they're always really like the pieces are always good, the money's always good. They do a
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
job of making their
exactly.
product.
Oh, let me see. I'm looking at these pieces. Yeah, so I would definitely snag those. The Mario game. I would love to just have the pieces. Oh, you don't get a
Yeah. So
vehicle.
what's funny? What's fun
You're
about
just a
this
character
though?
with stars.
I don't know if either of you guys played the Super. I think it was a Super Mario Monopoly where they actually altered the rules slightly. They had like an
Hmm.
updated, they had an expansion pack you could buy for it and everything. It was different, but it was at the end of the day, I think it was still Monopoly. I don't know if I ever played it, but it was big. It was like there was like a GameStop edition and things like that I kept seeing at the store. I never ended up playing it, but I did hear a lot of positive stuff about it, as in they changed the rules. So I'm not sure if this Super Mario Game of Life is going to be something similar to that, but uh, it's just
Well, you ain't
interesting.
having kids in it. Clearly, just looking at the pieces,
Oh yeah, yeah, of
you
course
get
not.
stars instead of kids. What kind
Yeah,
of
so they
life is
probably
that?
yeah, what kind of life is yeah, but still, it's interesting. But speaking about games you can just go buy at your local big box store. From what I'm hearing, there's HeroClix at Target again.
Yeah. So okay, I know I just slipped that in on the notes, but I was looking at. So you know how Target has the video game section, right?
Hmm.
And then
Yeah,
they have the card section at the front of the store.
yeah.
Well, they also have this weird like nerd section in the back that's not part of kids' toys, and it's not really part of video games, but they have action figures for like movies and stuff
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
in the back. And I happened to stumble upon the old single hero clicks for Black Widow. They have Black Widow hero
Yeah,
clicks at Target, and so I ended up buying one. I was like, I had to, right? I had to
that's.
grab at least one.
I'm grabbing a couple too because I got a. I didn't see him at Target like you did, but I saw some pictures of it. I think on my social about it, and I got a look Widow stuff because I was getting psyched for the movie. So, did you get anything good? At least you get any pull
Are
out
you
of that?
ready? You ready for it? I
Yeah.
got Widow's Recruit, the generic, whoever that. I don't even know if they're in the movie. They probably are,
Oh boy.
but it's
Yeah.
a
Okay.
25-point piece. Now,
Yeah.
usually those lower point pieces come in handy quite a bit. But yeah, it is kind of like a wah, wah. I didn't even get a rare or nothing. She looks like a solid figure. I will not be keeping her though. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
That.
It was, I was like, man, I haven't bought a Hero Clicks piece in a while, so it was cool to see it in Target too. I didn't know they were still doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen them in Target either, but not in a long time. I know I used to see them every once in a
Mm-hmm.
while.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a while. But yeah, that's cool though that you saw those. May I ask how much they costed for the single piece? Is it,
I think
I
it
forget what those
was four or
individuals
five.
are.
I
Four
can't
or
remember. It was
five.
4 or 5, $3.99, $4.99.
Yes, I think that's about
High
right.
enough that I was like, I'm just getting one because they had a
Mm.
handful there. I was like, I'll just
Hmm.
get one. I'll get one for the
Well,
show.
that's cool. Yeah, definitely just post a picture of that highly collectible piece in our Discord.
Dude, and here's the bummer. I already lost the card. I
Oh.
can't. I know
It's not even
because
worth anything now.
it comes in. I know it's someone just take it. It comes in the plastic bag that just
Hmm.
you can't put it back in. So
Uh,
I just ripped it open, and so it's probably in the car. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope you find it
Yeah,
at least.
I don't really care. It's
Yeah.
it's gonna be gone.
All right. Well, we'll move it on. We'll move on to our. We have another little segment here, Indie of the Week. We've been skipping a couple weeks, but I threw one in here. I didn't purchase it, but last month, Operation Tango came out. So I played it and I actually thought it was a lot of fun. I've been playing with my brother. It's by Clever Plays. So if you have PlayStation Plus and you grab this last month, one of the key parts about it though is make sure you have somebody to play with because you have to have two people. You have to play with somebody.
Hmm. Really?
So
Oh.
it's really interesting for the simple fact that so you play together. You have to have voice. You talk each other through things. So you're each two different characters. One of you is a hacker, and the other one is the operative, or is, and so one of them's like in the field, and the other one's on the computer. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, you each have different screens, and you have to explain what you see to help the other person. Usually
Mm-hmm.
involving symbols. There's one where somebody can see different maps and things, and they have to place blocks for you to use, but only you can see the obstacles. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
tell them like where the obstacles are and things like that. It's actually a pretty interesting game. It seems short. I think we're close to the end of it, but it's short and sweet. And but you got it for PS5 when they gave it away. Find a friend and play it. It's really fun. It's called Operation Tango. I think it's on everything though. So if you find it for cheap, it may be on Game Pass. I don't even know. I should have looked it up before I started, but I don't play on
Huh.
Xbox. But it may be on Game Pass, and if you have it, I highly recommend checking it out. So I'll leave that for a little indie there.
That does sound
Cool.
really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does
it
sound
kind of
pretty
reminded
You
me of what is that game called where you have to like you have to draw and they have to guess what you're saying or things like that.
Pictionary.
Yeah, like Pictionary or something like that, where you have to like explain things.
Charades.
Yeah, charades is a good example as well. But it's real. Me and my brother have been having a lot of fun with it.
okay? I will be honest. When I saw the picture, when I snagged it on the PlayStation Plus, I thought it looked stupid.
Yeah, same here.
Just looking at the picture, like, okay, this I don't. It's just it looked cartoony,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't read anything about it, but I totally judge things based on the cover.
Oh
And
yeah.
Yeah,
so when it comes to video games, of course. So, but the way you're describing it, now I'm interested. Now I want to play it.
yeah. I would definitely give it a shot. And like same thing. I stopped the same way. But me and my brother have been looking for someone to play together, and we've been having issues with. I won't even mention anymore. I talked about it last week enough. But last time. But that game wasn't working out for us. So we both just grabbed it and we're like, you know what? We both have PS5s now. Let's just see what the heck this is. And so we gave it a shot, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
Yeah, check it out. Operation
Very cool.
Tango. But let's move on to our favorite section, uh, where we each have our own little topics we want to discuss. And I don't know. Tomas, do you have anything yet? You didn't put anything on the notes. Do you have anything you wanted to talk about today? Maybe you could start.
It's just a short thing. So I've also been hunting the PS5 after Alan's success. I've kind of got my hopes up, and so
Do you
I
remember
spent
what he said though? How he
yeah.
got it?
Yeah, but I was working at it with actually Imogen with my fiance's help,
Okay.
and so we were working on it. We stayed up like till 4 a.m. on Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
and no luck. And we stayed up till around 4 a.m. on Thursday. I mean, not on Thursday. Yeah, I don't remember the days anymore. Today's Friday. Yeah, Thursday. So no
In that
luck.
PS5 haze.
Yeah, and then we were like, screw it. There's probably nothing gonna come out. For no, last night was Thursday night, so this was Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, so last night we were like, what, forget it. We're not gonna wait up. We're just gonna go to bed. And we went to bed, and then when we got up this morning around, like I think she said that she got up around 11. I got up after her. She got up around 11. Uh, she she was like, "Yeah, I got a couple tweets saying that there were some at Target and we missed them now." And I was like, "Dang it!"
Yeah,
So,
Target. Okay, so yeah. Well, sorry. Go ahead and continue. My bad.
oh, is it? So, I mean, that's essentially it. So we're gonna try again this next week and try
Yeah.
and follow the same people.
Yeah. Target is a hard one. Because like I think I said in my story that they're the one that dropped at like 4 in the morning one time, and they were
Yeah.
gone so fast. And I was just like, oh, okay. So I slept through that. But every time I saw a Target drop, they were gone instantly.
Hmm.
Best Buy is a little bit better because they have like this weird queue that kind of
Mhm.
helps out. But even then, they're instant. Any site that sells a PS5 on its own is just that's the worst because they're gonna have the most people going after them. The bundles are a little bit better, but yeah, like I said, Costco and Sam's Club are probably your best bets. But you have to have
Yeah,
because you have to be a part of their membership to even shop
yeah.
there.
I was watching Costco because I don't have a Sam's Club. But I was part of Costco, so I was watching Costco. But they haven't put anything new out for a while. So.
Yeah, I wish you luck. Is a rough game. I'll tell you that. It's
Yeah.
a rough game. I'm glad I've been just closing off my notifications as they start popping up because I forget that I had something else set to notify, and so I've been like closing them off. Um,
Oh. Oh, hey. I hear a cat. Bye, cat.
Not mine.
yeah, he decided to come out here and yell for some reason.
He
Anyways,
was.
Kyle, what do you have for your soapbox? You got anything interesting?
Yeah, I actually played video games in the past
What?
couple weeks. Can you believe it?
What are you, a child?
Well, I say that because I think like maybe even our past couple podcasts, I hadn't even played a game like to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about. Yeah, I haven't picked up a video game for just, a lot of busy life reasons, all that.
Yeah.
But um I had people over and I've learned that I'm a really big like couch co-op or couch multiplayer kind of video gamer because
Yeah, it does
I'll play
help.
for all night if someone is over here with me. I will
Mm-hmm.
play all night long. I like playing by myself, but I'm more of a if people are over, let's just game. And so we had some friends over the other day, and we were kind of babysitting a friend of ours who I think he's like 9 or 10. So he's all about it. He sees my collection. He's like freaking out, right? He's like, we got to play everything. And so I ended up picking up ARMS on the Nintendo Switch, which he was like, he's been looking for, right? I remember when you're a kid and you're like, you can't just go buy a game when you want
Yeah,
it
yeah.
because you don't have, first of all, you got to get money and then you got to figure out transportation. Can't buy it online because you don't got a credit card. So I was like, oh yeah, you can't just buy games you want. I forgot. So I had it. It was just sitting there, and he's like, dude, we have to play this. Like I've been wanting it. It's like, all right. And I was pleasantly surprised with that game. By the looks of it, the thing I was most worried about it was just like it looks janky. Like it looks hard to control, and we've all played fighting games where it's just like, oh, you're just flopping around button mashing, right? And you could get by with button mashing, but this game is well done, and I was very surprised with it. We didn't try the Joy-Con movements yet, where you can actually like punch and stuff, but it's a fun fighting game, and it's co-op. Everything about it's co-op, which I think because I think it was like a launch Switch game. It came out early in the Switch life, and so I think they were really emphasizing the co-ops of it.
And it was really upsetting too because it kind of just came and went. They didn't seem to really focus on it very much. It was kind of annoying. It wasn't like Splatoon where it seems like they kind of focused on. This one kind of they put out. They did some events and then it's kind of disappeared.
Yeah, but
kind of upsetting.
There's always online matches.
Really? Still?
Yeah, still. I was surprised. I said that too. I was like,
crazy.
We found people right away. And the cool thing is when you're playing they call it the Grand Prix, you have to do 10 matches. They break up the fighting games, and I appreciate this. Maybe some people don't, but I like that they give you like mini games, and one of them is basketball, one of them is volleyball, and it's like a couple minutes, right? Of just like, oh, you don't have to just keep doing this fighting over and over. Oh, you have to play this fun mini game where you literally have to dunk the other person in the rim, and it's like, oh, I didn't know I wanted this, but I wanted this, where I dunked the other character in the rim. And it's just really well made, and I don't know why I'm surprised because it is Nintendo or published by Nintendo. And but it's it's solid. Like it feels like a good game, and you don't feel cheated, and you don't feel like it glitches out.
Yeah.
And everything's co-op. Like every mode has a co-op. So that's
awesome.
Like I said, I love that. And so if you don't have it, it's still just I don't ever see it go on sale, but you could buy a used copy online for $40-$50. It's a good one.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, but it Splatoon has taken a while to get some heavy legs, but it's got heavy legs right now. It's still not like Mario or anything like that, but it's getting there. It's getting
Well,
pretty
it's got a
popular.
third game. I mean,
Yeah, it's
the
got
third game, that means
Yeah.
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's doing well. So in ARMS, I was thinking it was going to be another Steeple because I've heard really good things about it. And but yeah, it's really good to hear that you're enjoying it. I can't wait to give it a shot. I'm gonna have to gotta get down to that place eventually. But yeah,
Yeah. I don't know if maybe like a digital copy will go on sale one day.
yeah. I think there might be a Nintendo sale right now. I have to look into it later. But that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I had the other. I'm gonna play Mass Effect, so that's my
Hmm.
single player game. I'm gonna try to play. I got the Legendary Edition. You sold it for me, and I've heard other people just rave
Yeah.
about this game. I've never played it. I like that it's all in one little neat package.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, the Legendary Edition fixed a lot of like
Yes.
combat and stuff. So
Hmm.
Mhm.
From what I've heard, it did too. It's actually one of those games I may have to grab one of these days, just because I did love those games. They're one of the best like sci-fi RPG epics around.
so I will say this: I was surprised that because I bought mine at Walmart because their games are always $10 off. They're new
Hmm.
games, right? And I refused to pay full price, so I went to
Hmm.
Walmart to get it. But it was the last copy, and I was very surprised by that. I didn't expect it to sell as well. And like
Yeah.
even online, like it's not dropping in price; it's holding steady in
Hmm.
price, even though you can buy the trilogy on the Xbox 360 or even PS3 for like under $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could probably find them all. And so I'm just saying that as in if you're gonna pick it up, maybe pick it up sooner rather than later. I don't know if they have a PS5 edition,
I
but
was hoping that way you get an next gen edition. That's kind of what I'm looking for right now to see if they come out with a next gen edition. But
that
I
would be
don't know.
nice.
That may be asking a lot because this right here seems to have taken a lot from them to do because EA is not known for remaking or
Huh.
updating games. They for some reason
Mhm.
don't seem to do that very often. So I don't know if that'll
Well,
happen, but
yeah. Hopefully, the sales will show them like there's something to be said about redoing them,
yeah, of
especially
course.
the popular ones. So hopefully,
Hmm.
here's looking at you, kid, with your PS5. You get a legendary edition just for that
Yeah.
system.
I hope so, yeah, because I mean, why would they even bother with an Xbox Series X, right?
Well,
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I got the
Gonna
Xbox
stir
One,
that pot. Yeah. Oh
and
yeah, of
it
course.
just says both on the cover.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
and from
That's
what I've
good.
heard, the whatever it plays well on both consoles, and
Yeah, of course.
even the load times on the Xbox One are like really good,
Good.
from what I've
Yeah.
heard. So I'm hoping. Here we go. I'll check back in next time we record. See, tell
Yeah,
you
you
what I
have to
think.
let us know how you think because I want to see how you like those games. Um,
I'd
well,
love.
if you're finished, I guess
Yeah,
I'll
go
go
for
into
it.
mine. All right, so I'm doing my follow-up on the PS5. I've actually had it and I've been playing it. It actually came a little early. I said it was supposed to be on the 5th, and I ended up getting it like on the 1st.
Oh
So it was
wow.
actually pretty. It was
Ooh,
pretty nice.
that is nice.
Yeah, I was pretty excited for it. And so immediately I got it all set up and on it. And of course, to make appropriate experience, I had to make sure I played a really top-notch quality game, right? It's a PS5. So obviously I downloaded the Disney Afternoon Collection and I just went all in
Really?
and really got that. No,
Is
I'm
that what
just
you?
kidding.
Oh, okay. It's like wow. Okay, Darkwing Duck. It is. Let's get
No,
dangerous.
I started with the game that came with it because I figured I had to, right? It was Astro's Playroom, and that game was really fun, man.
Hmm.
I was really shocked. It's like a love letter to PlayStation, and you could see reviews for it everywhere, but it was super fun. It showed me like all the things the controller can do, which is pretty incredible.
Mhm.
It reminded me a lot of the Nintendo Pro controller for the Switch.
Hmm.
So it's like it feels like an updated version of that.
Nice.
So it has like a lot of the same stuff, but then better. Besides, it doesn't have the NF whatever that reader is for the amiibo,
Oh, right.
obviously, but has everything else, if not more. And so this thing is amazing. It feels good. It's a little bigger. I will notice that, which I did notice, and it's taken me a little bit to get used to. But the controller is a little bigger than the previous model. But I don't think it's a bad thing, though. I haven't felt that it's like worse in comfort. It's just going to take a little getting used to from what I came from. But I played
That's
that game, and that game was really fun. What was that, Kyle?
I was gonna say that just seems to be their trend. If you look at the PS1 didn't
Hmm.
even have sticks, and the PS2 did, and the PS3 was kind of just a wireless version, but the PS4 was a little bit bigger. And
Yeah,
then we get to PS10, it's just gonna be like a full body
a
suit.
keyboard.
Oh, yeah, it's just gonna
Or
be a
a full
PC.
bodysuit, yeah, a PC at that.
It's
I mean,
gonna
it pretty
be.
much is a PC at this point,
It
because
seems
you
like
could
it.
use it as a keyboard for most games. But so next, I played that game, and then next I went on to Bug Snacks because I much, and so I figured I had to get through this game. And it's fun. It's a fun game. I wouldn't call it amazing, sadly, but it kind of went on. Even though it's short, it still went on a little too long, and
Mm. Mm.
it was it's a fun experience for the price, which was quote unquote free from PS Plus. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. And after I wanted to get the new Ratchet and got it yet. I'm waiting till I beat the previous one, but I started playing the original Ratchet and Clank because they have an update for it, right? So it's
Oh,
not a PS5 native like the Bug Snacks was kind of made for PS5 or has a PS5 version. So I decided to try a PS4 game that's been up made for PS5, which is Ratchet and Clank. I think it has 60 frames a second, and I don't know if there's anything else besides that. But I played that for a bit. And I was having a lot of fun because Kyle kept raving around Ratchet and Clank. So I figured if I could get through that, if I think it's good, I may get the next one to really try
yeah.
the next gen experience.
If you like platformers, it's a good one. And
Yeah, and I
yeah,
do. So
I bet you the PS5 one, they've all gone on sale, right? They all mass
yeah,
produce them. They should drop in price if you wait
exactly.
long
I'm gonna
enough.
wait too. It's also been started to being bundled.
Oh,
So that
yeah,
means people are going to be getting them and selling. There are a lot on the shopping apps I've been looking at. They're
that makes
popping up. I
sense.
think I've seen them cheapest. I think is around $40. I think I'm a little bit longer, but still, I may grab that. But I really wanted to nail on the pride and joy. I Final Fantasy 14,
Uh-huh.
my game of choice. I got the
Yes.
upgraded PS5 version. Uh, so I got to play that, and I upped the graphics to the PS5 graphics. I didn't go all the way to the 4K version that only does 30 FPS, but I did go to the upscaled version, which still does 60 FPS, uh, because I need it for the rating. And my goodness, even my wife, who also plays on PS4, she was watching me play, and she was just like, oh my goodness, like this looks leagues better than even the PS4 version,
Really?
which is intense. Yeah, and I was
That's
I was like
cool.
surprised. And the load times are so fast.
Yeah.
Like it's intense. It's crazy how fast the load times are. I was not expecting it for a lot of these games. Uh yeah, so that was the most important one. I did dip into Marvel Avengers a little bit, not a lot yet, but it does look leagues better. It seems to be running a lot better. I kept doing performance mode, so I keep the 60 frames.
Hmm.
But it's running a lot better on the PS5. I'll tell you that much on Marvel's Avengers. So I'm excited to get a little deeper into that one. But so far, this PS5, I've been having a lot of fun with it. The games look better, and I've only had the only poor experience I've had is I had to take my PS5 down to download some stuff today, and so last night I packed it up, and then I wasn't able to go to bed because for about an hour I had to wait, and so I decided to play on my Switch again. So I put my Switch
Uh,
back in while it was packed up, and my eyes had to adjust to the different quality. I was like, I've never had this experience before because I'm used to, I'm pretty flexible with graphics, right? I'm pretty flexible. I don't really mind poor graphics, but I decided to play some Dragon Quest 11 on my Switch, and I turned it on, and I was like, oh my, what's my eyes? They feel different. What is going on? It took me about 5 to 10 minutes for my eyes to adjust down
Oh
to the
wow.
quality of the Switch because I was getting too used to those 4K graphics to now be playing this. Uh, I don't know what Dragon Quest 11 runs on Switch. I'm assuming 1080, a little less than that. I don't know. It's a beautiful game for the Switch, but
You run
yeah,
it in
even
dock mode or on
no,
portable?
I was docked mode. I was playing on the TV,
Oh,
so
okay.
it wasn't docked mode, so it was blown up. But still,
Wow,
once
that
I
big of a
adjusted, I was
difference
back
though.
normal. But it was that big of a difference. It surprised me. I wasn't used to that having that much big of an experience on that. So it's been
Yeah, that's
interesting.
surprising.
Yeah, but
The selling
I had a lot
point
of fun
for
with it.
me is
Hmm.
those load times. That's really
Load
that
times. Yeah,
seems like life changing.
Yeah.
it really is. For instance, in Final Fantasy 14, I went from regular pro, which is pretty long load times, especially for when you do these hunts. So these hunts are way too many people do them at the same time, and they all do them together. There's sometimes around at least 30, sometimes, and up to upwards to about 60 different people are doing these hunts and teleporting and everything. These load times usually take a bit. And I've been switching up and up and up. With the PS5, it was like instant. The old ones, like it took
Mm-hmm.
like 15, 20 seconds, it seemed like at least for before. And then when I got the SSD plug-in, it was probably about 5 to 10 seconds. It was still long, but not too bad. But PS5 just almost instant every time. It just blows me away how fast this it goes, the SSD on that thing. And it's just so optimized. It's amazing.
You hear that,
That is,
Tomas? Hear what you're missing out
Yeah,
on?
yeah,
yeah.
I'm just
So,
hearing him rub it in. I'm just getting a little.
yeah. So, yeah, just keep on it, Tomas. I don't know. The way I got one was through Sam's Club. I got lucky through
Yeah,
Sam's Club. So yeah, that's why I recommend those ones. But I really wish you luck. It was not easy,
yeah.
especially with working. It was not easy, but it is possible.
Mm.
Doable. I don't know. Possible though. So good luck, buddy. But yeah, that's all I got for today, and I think that's pretty much it for the cast, right? You guys want to say anything else before we get on out here?
We love you, people. Thanks for
All
listening.
right.
See you
Yeah.
guys
Why
later.
don't you, yeah, comment all that stuff down below, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.